And the host. I'm also a real estate professional at Keller Williams Preferred Properties. Our theme tonight is the credit status in America. Tonight, our special guest will be Cornelius Jackson from CLJ Enterprises, Inc. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Power Now Town Hall. My name is Emerick Peace, and I am your host for tonight. In addition to being your host, I'm also a real estate agent at Keller Williams Preferred Properties. Our theme tonight is the status of credit in America. Today, our guest will be Cornelius Jackson from CLJ Enterprises, Inc., and he'll be talking about the status of credit in America, giving credit where credit is due. We're going to have a great show. Please share this link for those who are watching on Facebook. Like us, share our link with your family, your friends. Let others know that we'll be live on Facebook. Right now, we're going to a break.
Want to keep up with the current developments happening in the world of real estate? The Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by Eric L. Frazier, is a show you do not want to miss. The show features a panel of VIP agents who are passionate about helping people. It is what they do best. They discuss today's hot topics, latest market updates and trends. The panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures in the industry. New episode every Friday live on Facebook and replay on the Power Is Now YouTube channel.
For those of you who join us, welcome to the Power Is Now Town Hall Live on Facebook. Again, my name is Emerick Peace with Keller Williams Preferred Properties, the host for tonight's show. Our special guest tonight is Cornelius Jackson of CLJ Enterprise. Cornelius is a realtor, broker, credit repair expert, and a former law enforcement officer. He created CLJ Enterprises with an original intent to assist asset managers with selling REO properties. CLJ Financial also offers business people a platform to establish and build credit for their corporation. Cornelius is here with us tonight to share his expertise on credit and the status of credit in America. Welcome to Cornelius to the Power Is Now.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I must say it is an honor and a pleasure to be on the Power Is Now East Coast edition with yourself, a powerful person, mentor, leader of the free world. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on.
No problem.
Awesome. So I'm glad everybody out there in social media land, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're at, take out your pen and paper, about to drop some nuggets, and we're about to get into the status of credit in America. So this is my contact information. If anybody wants to contact me after the show, feel free to give me a call, 949-427-3883, or search my name. It'll take you to my mobile business card. But let's get right into it. So the status of credit in America. 43 million people have a 599 credit score or less. The source, money.msn.com. Feel free to check all the sources here. We fact check everything. So that way, everything we're saying, there's a resource you can go to and verify. But 40% of millennials have spent money they don't have to keep up with friends, and most keep it a secret. I know some grown folks that aren't millennials that are still doing that today. 46% of baby boomers have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. You know, when you go into Walmart, tell me, who do you see at the front door as far as the greeters there? 56% of people in the U.S. have no rainy day funds. You know, being a real estate broker, just talking to different people that want to purchase a home and letting them know that they need to have closing costs, or they have to have earnest money deposits to be able to purchase a home, and they don't have that. That lets me know that if they don't have that, they really don't have the rainy day funds. So that's definitely a true statement. 35% of Americans have no retirement. And every 2 seconds, a person's identity is stolen. 14% of the U.S. population uses more than 50% of available credit. Now let's talk a little bit about the credit bureaus out there. Number one, the 3 major credit bureaus maintain over 202 million credit files. All 3 are for-profit companies, and they're not government entities. So just because they have bureau in the name, it's a for-profit company. They're nowhere connected directly with the government. Equifax, for one, is headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. TransUnion is headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. And believe it or not, 80% of their staff is located in India. So when you call, 8 out of 10 times, most likely you're going to get somebody that's in India. Now, Experian is headquartered in Dublin, Ireland. They're not even in the United States as far as base. Companies are not required by law to report to the bureaus. And 4 out of 5 credit reports in America contains mistakes. Now let's go in issues that credit affect. Loan approvals, interest rates, employment, investment opportunities, auto insurance, life insurance, rent, retirement. Let's just put life over here. Everything in life is affected with your credit. Credit is life. So let's go a little bit into loan approval. So lenders reject pretty much 1 in every 2 applicants that try to refinance their mortgage. About 30% of purchasers who apply for a mortgage are turned down. And if you don't have, you pretty much need the 4 C's of lending: capacity to pay the loan back, capital, collateral, and credit. If you're lacking in one of these fields, most likely you're going to get denied. But once again, let's not, if you want the government job, the city job, they all run your credit. So if you don't have a good credit score, the high pay-in price jobs you're going to lose out on. And let's not talk about investment opportunities. Have you always heard the saying, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready? But this picture here, this is one thing. What do we know about finances? Okay, our formal education did not teach us about personal finances, home ownership, financial freedom, or success. If they did, it'd be more of these sold signs and people in front of houses. I personally believe growing up, the only thing I learned about finances in school was the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Cornelius. That whole thing about being bitten by a snake and credit and us not understanding that, that's a huge item. Because I know that the only way that I knew my credit was right because I was in the military. And that was it. But if I hadn't been in the military and if I hadn't not needed credit at that time, when the only thing I had to do was buy a car, I wouldn't have understood credit either. And that's one of the things that I like what you're talking about.
Yes, but this is the picture here. This is a picture of success, financial freedom, and just ultimately going down the path of building wealth. It all starts here. So now let's get into what laws protect the consumer. These are a couple of laws here. I'm definitely going to touch on some of the high laws that we really, as far as being a credit repair specialist, that we leverage every day when we're helping somebody repair their credit. Now, first is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. This act was actually enacted by Congress, and it pretty much talks about the length of time credit can stay on your report. Most items are 7 years, collections are 7.5 years, charge-offs are 7 years, a bankruptcy, Chapter 7 is 10, Chapter 13 is 7 years. But really, what I let consumers know is a lot of people it's automatically going to come off in 7 years. That's really not the case. Even though this law was put in place for that, it doesn't mean that your creditor at year mark 7 is automatically going to take it off. So you're still going to have to dispute it to get it taken off. Granted, after 7, they automatically take it off. But why wait 7 years to have it hurt your credit profile? You might as well start now, a couple months later, year 1 or year 2, and then just enjoy financial freedom, those 5 years, opposed to waiting and doing the whole process all over again. Now, the Fair and Accurate Credit Transition Act, this one, I really have to point out, it says allows for online disputing. You never want to dispute your credit online, because I'll tell you, there's so many credit portals out there that will allow you to dispute your credit report online. But in the fine print, you're waiving your right to challenge what the Bureau comes back and respond. So you never want to dispute online. You always want to do it via mail. And then I have it down here. It is your responsibility for making sure items are accurate on your report. If you do not speak up, nothing will happen. Now let's go into the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. Actually your Your debt collectors, they can call you from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Let's just say all day they can legally call you. Now you can tell them over the phone, do not contact you at work. Now, if they contact you at work, pretty much you could be a recipient of $1,000 or $3,000 because they violated this law that was put in place. Now, if they contact you at home, you don't want them to continue contacting you anymore at home. You will pretty much have to write a letter and tell them cease and desist, do not call my home number, deal with me via US mail. And that's pretty much what they have to do. So this is a very important one. Let's just say one of your other debitors contact you, was like, hey, you owe this debt, you got to pay it. You can respond per the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. You have 30 days to validate that I owe this debt. Send me the proof and what information you have. 9 out of 10 times, they'll probably never contact you again. And as long as you pretty much challenge them, you'll be pretty successful with getting it off your credit. Now, statute of limitations on debt. This one is highly important. So whatever state that you're in, you want to look at your statute of limitations, depending on your situation and depending on the type of debt that you have on your report. But about 90% of the cases will be thrown out of court if people would just answer the summons. So if you get a summons, don't be scared, go to court. I personally had a client that was sued by Wells Fargo. Well, no, sorry, that was sued by American Express and Home Depot. And I was like, look, man, I'm not an attorney. All I could say, go to court. He went to court. They saw him. They threw it out. He was one or two people in the court, and they were suing about 80 people. All 78 other people got a judgment against them. The 2 people that showed up, it was thrown out just for showing up. So never be afraid. Now let's get into FICO 10 and 10T. This is really a touchy subject and gets a little scary at some points. But FICO 10, think twice about taking out a personal loan. Since personal loans will be more heavily penalized with FICO 10 scores, you want to avoid taking out a personal loan unless it's necessary. But look, growing up, I've been there. I had to do the payday loan. I pull it out. I pay it off. I re-pull it out again. I understand life. We're all in different scenarios. So if it's something you have to do, don't go bankrupt by not taking it because you're worried about your FICO 10 score. Now, FICO 10T, this is one that's really scary. That's going to change the whole lending game. It represents a new take on credit scoring with the use of trended data. Now, the trended data looks at how customers have managed their their financial accounts over 24 and 30 months. So basically what they're looking to see if you pretty much got a personal loan to pay off your credit cards. Now, if you stop there, your credit's going to skyrocket. It's fine. But the second you use that personal loan to pay off your credit cards, and then you run your credit cards back up, that's what the FICO 10T is looking for. Is really going to ding you in that case. So you really got to be smart and just think about that aspect. Now, according to FICO, the new credit scoring model can help lenders reduce default rates by 10% for credit cards and 9% for auto loans. Now, when it comes to the mortgage industry, the FICO 10 scoring model is going to help reduce defaults by 17%. Now, let's get into a little bit of the treatment of collection agency accounts on FICO 9, FICO 10, and 10T. So paid collections, all paid collection agency accounts will now be excluded from the score calculation. I know a moment ago, I just said FICO 10 and 10T is scary to be afraid of. But I know a lot of people in collections that would like their mortgage broker to pull a FICO 9 or 10 score so all their collection accounts won't be used against them. Now look at this, unpaid medical collections. Okay, the unpaid medical collections accounts will be assessed differently from unpaid non-medical collection agency accounts. I really like that they did this model here because so many people have kids. Medical bills are insane. So to get a medical bill against you and to have it stop you from purchasing a home, it really hurts me right in the heart. And, as Americans, I appreciate the FICO scoring system taking this into account and not really hurting us Americans that much. So the fact that they changed these two is really not going to hurt as much on the FICO 10, 10T, or FICO 9 scoring model. Now FICO 8, FICO 9, and FICO 10. Let's pretty much, we're going to show here. So on the left side here, these are the derogatory accounts. Now this is going to show just how it's captured over the different industries. So if you see here, 2.4% more future delinquencies than FICO 9 and FICO 8. So on the first part at 10%, so the purple is FICO 10, the blue is FICO 9, and the light blue is FICO 8. You can see if you look all across the board that FICO 10, it has about that 2.4% difference where it's going to capture that default rate. Now, this is the big one right here. The FICO scoring model 10 versus FICO 5. Many people probably don't realize, but 98% of mortgage companies, mortgage brokers, they use FICO scoring model 5. And on the next slide, I'll go into why. But if you look, so the difference of FICO 5 versus FICO 10, right now, the model that the mortgage brokers are using, if you're at 620, which right now you need a 620 or above to get qualified, but Mr. Eric Fraser will go more in depth in that a little bit later on. You can see under the FICO 5 scoring model, your FICO score is going to be higher than FICO 10. So it's a good thing that they're still using 5 right now. Now we have the difference of FICO 8 going through FICO 10. So if you can see the funny part right here, FICO scoring model 5 came into play 1998 to 2000. You know, this is 2020. So most people are out there, they're on social media, FICO 10. Dude, don't let FICO 10 scare you. If the mortgage community is still using FICO 5, it's going to take them about 5 years or more to adopt to using FICO 10. So definitely don't be afraid from that aspect. And one thing that I'll tell you that I don't like about FICO 5 is it doesn't take rental trade lines into effect. So one thing as a credit repair expert, if you're renting a house, I would tell you, hey, let's get this, credit my rent product on your credit. Let's help boost your FICO score because you're paying your rent. But FICO 5 doesn't give you credit with that. But scoring model FICO 9 and 10 will give you credit for your rental, your rent trade lines.
Thank you so much, Cornelius. Hey, I'm learning something here. I'm learning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the Power Is Now is a great resource of information for anyone looking to improve their credit, buy real estate, especially as a first-time home buyer. We're going to take a break.
The Power Is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, real estate, programming guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate news and information from industry experts. Subscription is free. Sign up today. thepowerisnow.com. thepowerisnow.com.
My name is Emerick Peace, the real estate agent and host of the Power Now Town Hall. We're back today. We're talking to Cornelius Jackson, CEO of CLJ Enterprises. And today we're discussing credit in America, giving credit where credit is due. So let's dive back into this, Cornelius.
Perfect. I'm back live. Let me share my screen again. Now we're going to get into credit hacks. So before I get into this next portion, one thing I want to tell you about this FICO 10, going back to that real quick, trade lines. That is going to be the answer. As soon as a lender uses FICO 10, which more so it'll probably be your mom and pop car dealerships that adapt that model first. All you got to do is add a trade line, the authorized user trade line, and throw the whole system off. So let's get into what is a primary trade line and how does it work? Okay, a primary trade line is your credit cards that you have, your car loan that you have, your mortgage that you have, or your student loan that you personally have that is on your credit. That is a primary trade line. Now, authorized user trade line. Go back to your primary credit card that you have. Say you put your sister on there. Now they're authorized user of your primary trade line. That's what an authorized user is. So they can use your whole history of your trade line. And another thing I really like to point out, that 17-year-old that you have that's in the house, you can't wait for them to get 18 and become an adult and become independent. If you have good credit, put them on your credit card now, but definitely make sure to teach them about the value of credit. So once they turn 18, that credit card you have for 7, 10, 15 years, they get that whole history. That's practically their whole life. Once they turn 18, they come out the gate with a 700 or 800 credit score. So set them up for success if you're making sure to manage your credit. Now, if you do want to add an authorized user trade line, you definitely want to make sure that any fraud alerts that you have on your credit, you turn off to make sure it reports. Now, I have this website right here that we put together, tradelinehelp.com. Make sure to go to that. It has a lot of good primary trade lines, a lot of some other good, authorized user accounts you can add to help boost your credit score. But I want to get into my jewelry club. These are the top 3 that I recommend for everybody. So one, the jewelry club, let's just say you have a 700 credit score, but you don't have a $5,000 credit card. You need the jewelry club. If your credit is bad, you need the jewelry club. Same thing with New Coast Direct. The way these two companies work is $100 annual membership. You order $100 worth of jewelry. As soon as UPS delivers it to your house, it'll let the company know it's a valid address, they received it, and it'll go in the queue to get reported to your credit report. And it's a $5,000 trade line. Granted, on your credit report, it shows like a $5,000 credit card. But in reality, you can only use it at the jewelry club. I'm thankful to that because I have some client like, hey, I need to buy tires. Can I use tires? No, that's part of the problem. You want to buy tires. When I tell you I can give you $10,000 worth of added credit, you're just trying to mess up your credit from the beginning already. So that's one of the key hacks and key secrets here. The New Coast Direct, it does the same thing. You can actually add a spouse, a partner, and add another $5,000 trade line. So you can add $10,000 of credit to your profile. The way that works, say you have a $1,000 credit card, the limit is $800. You only have access to $200 on your credit report. That's what's really affecting your credit aside to the negative items. You add both of these two trade lines here. Now you added $10,000 access to credit. Let's add the $200 you have left. So now you have access to $10,200 and you only owe $800. Can you just see your credit score skyrocketing right there? Now the credit rent boost. I really love this option. If you're a renter and you're not getting credit for paying your rent, that's our highest bill. Once you add this to your credit, it goes back 2 years. So once you do that, going back 2 years of adding your rent to your credit history, I've had clients that have seen 70-point increases, 80-point increases. I say on the bottom, it's been about 49, 50-point increase as far as just adding the credit rent boost feature myself. So once again, go to tradelinehelp.com. Make sure you get access to these trade lines and add them to your report. It is a game changer, 100%. Excuses don't get results. What I always like to tell people. Now, what now? So credit repair is something you can do yourself for free, 100%. It can be very, very time consuming. Helps to know all your rights under all of the laws afforded to you. Can be frustrating at times. You will need to, one, you got to be organized, you got to be persistent, and be prepared to be committed for 6 to 12 months to fight the credit bureaus on your own. Or you can hire us. You can save time, less frustration. We know the laws to leverage. And pretty much we'd love to earn your business. And we love what we do. We're passionate about helping people getting items removed off their credit report and calling them like, guess what? We got this off. The medical bill is gone. Exciting. You know, what we do, we understand the laws and assist our clients with their credit. We work closely with you, and pretty much whatever's negative on all three credit bureaus, we're going to dispute all the items at the same time for the fastest results in the quickest amount of time. You know, you have 24-hour access to our portal. You just go to cljfinancial.com. You can enroll from there. We're going to send you emails, text alerts daily. You can log in and check the status of where we're at with the process. You can see how many items we got off, the percentage, everything is there in real time. Now, average credit repair companies, most companies are letter mills. Many companies limit their disputes. We don't limit nothing. If you have 70 negative items on one bureau, we're going after all 70. If you have 3 on one, we're going after all 3. You could have 100 on another item. The price doesn't change. Anything that's negative and hurting your credit, we're going to go after that. We'll say anything to get you enrolled. Many work their homes in an unsecure environment. Many are not CROA compliant. Now, that's one thing. We're CROA compliant. We're leveraging the law, and we're tracking everything, so you have access to it all. Every dispute is custom to your situation. We do not limit disputes so you can enjoy better credit sooner. We make sure we feel we can benefit your credit first. So basically, we're going to look at your credit report. We're going to assess it. And if I feel we can't help your situation, we're just going to let you know up front, hey, you validated all this information with the creditors already. There's nothing we can do. We're not in business to take somebody's money and not give a benefit. We want to make sure we're giving a benefit as we're compliant. We're leveraging the laws of our state, California, and want to make sure we can really help you. But these are some of the items we've removed so far: bankruptcy, foreclosures, tax liens. And I'll tell you now, if you have a tax lien, that's immediately coming off. The bureaus, as of 3 years ago, they don't even report tax liens on credit reports anymore. So that's definitely coming off. Collections, child supports. We have been successful with removing child support, but I really like to give this disclaimer. If you have child support on your credit, you need to make sure you pay it, because you're not coming back at us for going to jail for not paying your child support. So just because it comes off your credit, you still owe it. And pretty much it all comes down to whether the items on the report are meeting all the requirements outlined in the Fair Credit Reporting Act for them to continuously be reported. If they are not or cannot be verified within a reasonable amount of time, then by law, they must be removed. They will and can be removed. Now, this is how you get started. Go to our website, cljfinancial.com, click Getting Started. And then after that, just once you hit Getting Started, if you're a single person or, one person is $199 a month, it's $199 startup costs. Sorry about that. And $119 a month. But since you've sent us on the Power Is Now, we have a special enrollment code. Put in Power1 for $50 off your enrollment costs. So it's only going to cost you at that point $149 to enroll, and then $119 a month. Now for couples, our normal price is $379, and it's $199 a month. But if you use the enrollment code Power2, it takes $100 off. So $279 to get started today, $199 a month. And as the old saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. I look forward to helping you and earning your business. Feel free to text me, DM me, or go right to our website, cljfinancial.com, and get started today.
Thank you so much, Cornelius. Hey, I'm sitting here and I'm learning. And so right now we're going to a break. You're watching The Power Is Now by Homebuyer Town Hall live on Facebook. We're here every first and third Tuesday at 7 p.m. We'll be right back after this commercial segment.
Everyone knows the power of social media and the impact a strong online presence has in this day and age. But most real estate agents simply do not have the time to manage all the advertising and marketing details, and that's where the Power Is Now Media steps in. We are the answer you have been looking for. Let us help put your brand on the map. We will create customized graphics for weekly full-page ads, social media content, video, and podcast content for you. Sound complicated and expensive? It is affordable and easy. We have the best experts on the job. Go to thepowerisnow.com and find us under the VIP Agent tab to learn more. This is the future of real estate. Join today. thepowerisnow.com.
You're watching The Power Is Now Homebuyer Town Hall live here on Facebook. We're back, and for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to The Power Is Now Town Hall. We just concluded a great discussion with Cornelius Jackson, CEO of CLJ Enterprises. If you need credit assistance, you can talk to Cornelius at 949-299-1969. You can also email Cornelius at cljrealty@gmail.com. And now we're going to introduce our CEO and founder of The Power Is Now, Eric Frazier. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So first of all, Cornelius, thank you so much for that presentation. Great information about credit. And in fact, if you can come back on the screen here, I want to just engage you a little bit because I'm sure there's a lot of questions. In fact, we had one person asked a question on Facebook. It was Candace Lockett. She says, "Can you explain the 4 C's again?" And I thought that was a great question. Why don't you cover that again real quickly, and I can chime in.
Yes, no, for sure. So I was probably going too fast, so my apology. The 4 C's of lending. So one is your capacity to pay the loan back, the capital, meaning the money that you have to either put down, and then the collateral and your credit. So your credit is your credit score. You have to have collateral. So your earnest money deposit, your closing costs to be able to purchase a home, and ultimately your credit score, which I know you'll go more in depth as far as the credit score on the different programs that you offer.
Yeah, so hopefully Candy Lockett, that answers your question, and we appreciate those of you who are watching live on Facebook. If you have any other questions like Candy, please take an opportunity now to ask your questions while we have Cornelius, and we'll make sure that your question gets answered. Actually, I want to bring in Emmerich too, and Cornelius. Let's all come back on. And again, this was really a great conversation about credit. And Emmerich, you're doing a fantastic job in hosting today's show. Cornelius, can you speak on the cost? There are a lot of credit repair companies out there that charge a lot of money. And there are some people who don't want to pay any money at all. They just want to, they think they can do it on their own. And so they try to do it on their own, and they end up going to a credit repair company and perhaps not being treated fairly. Can you kind of speak to that for a moment?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I'll tell you, the big company out there, right? Lexington Law. Let's just say everybody knows who Lexington Law is. Many clients have went to them that I know. So what they do is they'll charge $110 per month, but that's only to dispute 3 items, right? So if you want to get more items disputed from your credit report, you have to pay more. So it's just a way that they have it as a trick bag to charge you more to get items taken off your credit. But legally, the way they're structured, they can only dispute 3 items at a time. So that's why when you go to a different company and you're certified through CROA and pretty much you're set up with your state, you can leverage those laws and dispute all items on somebody's report. So that was Lexington Law. Now there's other credit companies out there that I know of that might charge $2,500 one time for a 6-month process. I know another guy that I work with, within this credit space, and he charges $1,500 for 3 months. Mine, it's month to month. There's no contract. You can cancel at any time, but there is a cost. There's people who are writing the letters on your behalf. Everything is custom written, super aggressive, and it just takes time to tailor your situation with your creditor and trying to see which law we're going to leverage based on your situation. So there's staff that needs to get paid for, and people need to get paid for their time. So it's competitive. If somebody can't pay $199 to start and $119 a month, but yet they say they want to be a homeowner, it just really doesn't connect with me.
So Cornelius, you mentioned something, and I'm not talking about any company disparate. Lexington Law, are they actually a law firm?
No, they're a credit repair company that they're one of the biggest credit repair companies where they spend a lot of marketing dollars.
Okay.
And people hear Lexington Law, like you said, they just think law firm. I'm going here.
Yeah. And it's funny. I was thinking the same thing. So I said, well, you must have a lawyer disputing your credit. That's a great thing. So I've had people say that to me, and I say, okay, well, you got a lawyer. I automatically assume lawyer because of the name Lexington Law. I guess shame on me for assuming.
No, definitely. But like I said, it's a trick bag to get people in because they can only dispute 3 items per bureau for their cost of $110, and I'm charging $119 a month. And for you to add more items, they charge additional fee.
Okay, so let's go back to your structure because you piqued my interest. To start is how much?
So $199 for a single person. That it covers your first month plus is your setup cost.
Okay, and then $119 every month.
Yes.
Thereafter, month to month.
Yes, $119 a month. It comes with credit monitoring, identity theft, so we can monitor your credit while you're going through the process. And you want to protect your identity. Granted, your credit may be messed up. Nobody wants to steal it now, right? But during the course of fixing your credit, let's just say we get you to 700 within 2 months. Somebody might steal your credit the next day. So you want to be monitoring it throughout the whole process to prevent that from happening. I hate to have that on my watch. So that's why we offer that with our system.
So I want to go to Eric real quick. And Eric, as far as credit repair, how much does credit repair really help someone with a mortgage? They come to you with a 600 credit score. They go to Cornelius. Cornelius does a credit repair. They come back to you with 630, 640. What are the downsides to that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I think that credit repair is not only important, it's essential that a person work on their credit all the time, repair what damage has been done through, past mistakes and, just not being more responsible with their credit, and then to maintain it. So the credit monitoring that Cornelius is talking about is very important. There are a number of online platforms. Even the bank Visa cards now are providing you with daily or monthly updates as to what your score is and reporting any activity that may be happening on your account. But I have sent several clients to Cornelius, and I can tell those who may be watching or listening on Blog Talk Radio that what Cornelius does is not only real. I mean, we have clients right now in process as a result of his work, and so I can be a living testimony, if you will, to the fact that the work that he is doing is legitimate, 100% legitimate. He is actually getting results, and I have buyers, I have people refinancing, all because of the work that Cornelius is doing. That's why he's on the show, folks. I mean, this is The Power Is Now, and we are serious about being information providers. We provide information and resources for people to become homeowners. And the last thing I want to do is ever endorse or have anyone on our show that is not 100% legitimate and actually getting the work done. The other thing too is that the cost seems not just reasonable, but perhaps below average. I've had people come to me in the past just charging a lot more. And Cornelius is gracious enough to give anyone who is watching or listening to this broadcast on The Power Is Now a discount. What is that discount again? What is the discount code?
And that was a surprise. I didn't tell you I was going to throw that in there. So for one person, $50 discount. The code is Power1. And I will, a disclaimer, it's only going to be good for 2 weeks. You have
okay.
I was going to do like 24 hours, but I said, let me do 2 weeks. Maybe somebody want to wait until payday, Friday, maybe next Friday. So it's good for 2 weeks. So one person, when you're enrolling, use the sponsor code Power1 for $50 off. If it's a couple, use Power2 for $100 off.
So park right there for 1 second, Cornelius. So how are they going to log on to your site to put in Power1 or Power2?
So if they go to, well, we have two different sites to go to, cljfinancial.com.
Okay.
CLJ Credit Reset. Once you go there, you click enroll or actually get started. They put their information in. They're going to sign our agreement, which is month to month. Once they sign our agreement, it's going to bring up for them to input their credit card information.
Okay.
And at that window is where you put sponsor code, because it'll ask if you have a sponsor code underneath, and it'll show what discount they get.
So we're going to cljfinancial.com.
Yes.
We're going to follow the prompts to register. When it comes time to put a code in, we're going to put Power1 if it's one person, and then Power2 if it's two people.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Beautiful. I just want to make sure that our listeners and our viewers make sure they can get in, because that's huge for a lot of people. And what I want to, Eric, you touched on something, and you mentioned about the Power Is Now and vetting. I think that's really critical, so that our viewers, our listeners, our session attenders, they understand that people just don't show up on the Power Is Now. Credible sources, credible resources, validated, because the last thing that we would ever want to do is to question the Power Is Now integrity about the caliber of professionals that we'll be presenting every first and every third Tuesday. Now, coming back to you, Cornelius, you mentioned Crower, right? I'm in Maryland, so Crower means I'm in the cornfield. so how can you help me in Maryland with my credit?
So so pretty much it's a private organization that credit repair companies leverage.
Okay.
So it's a very expensive designation. I'll say that's one to get. There's a lot of training behind it to be able to get certified.
Consumer centric and consumer friendly.
Yes. It's basically for us to learn the laws, make sure we're leveraging the laws. We're not doing nothing illegal. They validate that we're a credible company. We have all of our licenses, all of our, insurance, our documentation, everything that any reputable business needs. It's just like going to the DRE, getting licensed. You have to make sure you have all the training and everything from that aspect.
Okay, beautiful. So you're telling me that not only is the Power Is Now vetted you, but you're certified. You didn't wake up one day and say, I want to fix credit. You're certified. And that's important, because there's so many credit repair people. And I've had people come to me and, you want to join this, you want to join that, we can get you credit. So that's not what I do. I'm not a credit repair specialist. However, they were willing to sign me up in their multi-level marketing plan to be a credit repair person. Now, I don't know anything about credit. And so I appreciate the fact that, you're certified. You come with papers, and that's huge. And so thank you so much for that. Eric, before we close.
I wanted to jump in on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I think that there's a great book by Gary Keller called The One Thing. I know you know it well. And just doing one thing really, really well, will drive your business. If your attention and focus is on that one thing, everything else you may need in life will be taken care of. And I'm saying this in regard to what you just said, and not just what you said, but also what Terry Marie, I'm going to share her comments out of Atlanta. She says, I've had many high-end sellers. They were move up buyers, but because of credit, not wanting to list their home. Credit restoration has allowed me to better serve clients in my market. So Metro Atlanta historically has had credit challenges and is lower than the national average. Thank you, Terry, for sharing that. I think as real estate professionals, it's better to align yourself with a credible individual who has the credentials, the experience. What I like about Cornelius is not only is he a credit expert, owns a credit company, has people working for him doing this work, very, very conscientious about it, offers a very fair price for the service he's providing, has gotten the endorsements and we'll call it the endorsements that validate what he's doing. But he's also a real estate broker. So he knows firsthand, as a real estate broker, selling real estate, how challenging it is to work with people who have derogatory credit. And to be able, so I think he can relate to us real estate professionals out there when we're running into someone with credit challenges and we can't assist them in their dream of home ownership. So being able to align yourself with someone who has a company that is doing this work, as opposed to you going to, join a company, whether it be multi-level or buying one yourself. I mean, I don't know how you did it, Cornelius, but I had considered, in fact, when you and I first met, I was considering acquiring a credit repair company, because as a mortgage lender, I deal with this every single day. I average close to 100 pre-approval applications a month. And I would say better than 50% have some type of credit issue and that we have to address, which is why I'm so glad that we're working together because I just simply don't have the time to do credit repair.
I'm going to say I definitely, appreciate our partnership and the clients you have referred. And it gives me no greater joy than being like, Eric, they're done. I'm sending them back to you. And it's just an amazing feeling. But I do want to touch on how you said being a real estate broker and understanding the process. This is something dear to my heart because I've had good credit. My credit's been messed up. I've had to rebuild it. So I've done went through the whole process again. And I hate having a buyer. They're denied a loan. They're sad and they just lose all hope. But it's like, you know what? You have to know where you're at. You take one step a day to move forward to get to where you need to go. If you don't realize where you're at now and figure out what you need to do to move forward, you will never become a homeowner. So you have to be mindful of that. So that's the first thing. But one thing that's hard that I'll say with this situation is getting people to understand this is legal credit repair. I'm retired from the federal prison. I'm an upstanding, retired law enforcement officer. What we're doing is legal, legalized credit repair. We're not doing anything illegal. It's a process. It probably took you 8 years to mess up your credit. It may take 3 to 6 months to fix it. But in the age of the pandemic and COVID-19, we're about 4 to 8 months. We all have a different financial blueprint, right? Mm-hmm. Some people, they might have 4 or 5 items. They can be out the program in 2 months. Other people, you have 70 items. You're not going to be out the program in 2 months. It's too many items, but we go after everything. You may be out in 3 months. You've been praying a lot and it just might work, right? But in reality, you're looking 6 to 8 months with that many items. So that's really the challenge, getting people to understand you need to add these trade lines to build positive credit or use the product that you offer as far as your secure credit card, so it can report to their credit to build up, so they can go back to you for their loan approval.
And that's and you said something, Cornelius, and our hour is drawing near, and I want to touch on a couple of things since our hour is drawing near. The first thing, which I think was huge, where you said in order to become a homeowner, you said in order to become a homeowner. Let's make this clear. If you already own a home, you still should fix your credit. So if you're already in a good place, you want to be in a better place. That's that part. The second part, I'm going back to Eric, because you know what I find is both of you two can pretty much operate anywhere in the country, which I find that amazing. You're doing credit repair for Eric. Eric's doing loans for people all over the country. And so I want to jump back to Eric really quick, because you're fixing these people credit. So here's the deal. We're the East Coast show, and us being the East Coast show, and somebody on the East Coast, I know they know someone whose credit has to be fixed. So Cornelius, you can fix their credit on the East Coast. But let's be real. Eric, you can do the loan on the East Coast. And that's the part I love about the Power Is Now, because we are so interconnected, whether it's East Coast, West Coast, whether rap really started on the East Coast and then West Coast just slowed it down a little bit. But at the end of the day, you know, we can jump from coast to coast. So Eric, you know, how can you help people on the East Coast get loans? Because that's always intrigued me, and I just want to bring that up in our closeout.
Well, thank you very much for asking a great question, Emmerich. And again, you are a fabulous host. Folks, this is the East Coast Homebuyer Town Hall. And the reason why we're worldwide, you know, is because of the internet. The internet has really changed everything. It has made the world smaller. Not only can we do loans, you know, anywhere in the United States.
Except Maryland.
What's that?
Except Maryland.
Except for Maryland. In fact, so let me clear that up here. So in addition to being the host of the Power Is Now, I'm also a vice president and mortgage advisor for First Bank. My license number is 461807. And the views and opinions that I have expressed on this show today are my own and do not necessarily reflect that of First Bank. Now, First Bank is licensed in 49 states. And believe it or not, the only state we're not licensed in is a state where Emmerich Peace is one of the largest Keller Williams broker owners in the country. I mean, what are you, number 35? 500, almost 600 agents. So I'm working on that, Emmerich. I'm trying to get that right away.
I like that.
I'm working on it right away. So everywhere, 49 states, and we can do FHA. By the way, FHA, our minimum FICO score for FHA is 640. So if you're not at 640, get with Cornelius Jackson. In fact, for FHA, for VA, USDA is 640. You know, earlier this year, it was high as 660 because of COVID-19. All the banks started panicking and raising FICO scores. And now that COVID-19 is starting to raise its ugly head and many people are being infected and people are dying, it wouldn't surprise me if lenders across the board started to raise their FICO scores. So I would encourage you that even if you might be at 640, it could tomorrow, you know, next week, the requirements could go to 660 or even 680. So never stop working on your credit. Constantly be monitoring and working on your credit. 640 is the score. Now, if you need down payment assistance, most housing finance agencies across the country has a minimum score of 660 for government, FHA, VA, 680 for conventional if you want down payment assistance associated with helping you buy a home. Here in California, where I'm based, we can provide down payment assistance through the Golden State Finance Authority at 660 on FHA loans, 640 on conventional loans, and same thing with the California Housing Finance Agency. And so, but again, to get the money or just to get into the game, all you have to be is 640 right now. If you have your 3.5% down, FHA, no money down, VA, 640. And you know what, I mean, I see applications all the time, Emmerich and Cornelius, In fact, just today, the client is at 635. 635. I'm saying, oh my God, 5 points. And I told him what he needed to do. And say he doesn't need to do credit repair. What he needs to do is to pay down his credit cards. Your credit cards, and I know you touched on that, Cornelius, but man, 30%, your balance should never exceed 30% of your limit. So if you have a limit of $1,000, your real credit limit is 300. I mean, that's just how it works, folks. And so FHA, VA, government loan 640, with down payment assistance 660, conventional 680 with down payment assistance, or if you just want a standard conventional loan, you can get in at a 640 FICO score. So credit is really just critical to being able to buy a home. And if you're making money, you're making 50,000, 70,000, 100,000, 200,000. I have people in my coaching program right now who are making well over $100,000 a year and whose FICO scores are between the 580 to 620 range. And we're working with them to help them get their scores up to 660 so they can get down payment assistance, or at least 640 to be able to get an FHA loan. And so don't let a FICO score shy 10, 15 points stand in the way of you being able to buy a home today during these unprecedented times. We're talking about interest rates fixed for 30 years in the 2% range. The last time, I've been a lender for 39 years, nonstop, 39 years. I have never been able in my career to be able to offer a 30-year fixed rate at below 2.5%. I've never been able to do that. The last time I was able to offer any kind of interest rate in the 2% range, it was an adjustable rate mortgage at Home Savings of America or Washington Mutual. Millennials may not even know those names, but those of you who've been around a while, you know those names.
The 7th District Cost of Funds, right?
That's right. Listen, you know. So those who've been around a while, you know what I'm talking about.
The coffee loan.
Last time, think about that, Emery. I mean, that's the last time that I was able to offer any kind of rate in the 2% range. It was an adjusted rate mortgage. And now you can buy a home today at 2 or 3%. The most expensive component, folks, of buying a house is not the price. So don't complain about the prices because they're doing nothing but going up. Inventory is low everywhere. Celebrate the rate because ultimately that is the most expensive component of a transaction, that the interest rate, not the price. And so I would encourage you, if you're interested in working with me, assessing your situation, looking at your credit under FICO score model 5, because that's what we do. I'm a mortgage bank, and letting you know where you're at and helping you get pre-approved, go to applytobuynow.com. Applytobuynow.com. Go there first and register, set up an account, complete an application, run your credit report. And as soon as you hit submit, I'll see everything. And I'll be able to tell you immediately where you're at and if you can qualify for a loan.
So we got to close out. We're at the end. So there's two things here. Applytobuynow.com and cljfinancial.com. One person power 1, 2 persons power 2. And that is it for the night for our Home Buyers Town Hall. Thank you so much for your contributions, Cornelius. I'm looking forward to talking to you a lot more. Thank you so much for that opportunity, Eric Frazier. Applytobuynow.com. We'll be right back on the third Tuesday at 7 o'clock East Coast. Home Buyers Town Hall. Don't have to be a home buyer. You just have to want to be educated because we're going to bring the heat on this East Coast Town Hall. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Until the third Tuesday at 7 p.m., just remember, make sure that you tune in to thepowerisnow.com. Thepowerisnow.com for all sources real estate, all sources loan. Thank you guys so much. And There's no better place to be than where? The Power Is Now.
The Power Is Now Media is worldwide with growing audience of future homebuyers, investors, builders, developers, real estate agents, and brokers. The Power Is Now Media is well positioned to increase awareness and produce results for our growing roster of advertising partners. An advertisement on any of our platforms is the right step toward reaching and communicating key brand messages to a targeted network of individuals, families, and communities interested in housing. Our content areas include feature stories and profiles on successful real estate agents, business owners, government, and community leaders. The Power Is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, real estate, and programming guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate and mortgage news and information from industry experts. VIP agents are able to feature listings each week. The Power Is Now TV radio podcast features weekly shows that include Homebuyers Town Hall, Real Estate Roundtable, VIP Agent Spotlight, and so much more. Each week, VIP agents have opportunities to be featured guests on the shows. VIP agents can discuss and showcase houses, neighborhoods, and provide brief introductions. The interviews are unlimited 10 to 15 minutes on each current listing. This product alone separates you from your competition. The Power Is Now delivers to you market update interview to promote listing weekly, promotional biographical video, co-host a bi-monthly Homebuyers Town Hall show, featured subject matter expert on Real Estate Roundtable show, The Power Is Now Program Guide e-magazine, The Power Is Now National e-magazine, article writing and blogging, social media content customization, inclusion and press releases, graphic design services, business and performance coaching, technology support, referrals, lead generation opportunities, and management support.